Separately, we can lose our impact, our purpose, our joy. But together, we find great strength. Together, we have shelter from storm. Together, we can achieve great things. Together, we rise above the waves. Together, our light spreads to many, brings warmth, giving hope. We serve better. We love greater. And we know God will experience life together. Hello, good afternoon, good Tuesday afternoon. And we are on our, I think, sixth or seventh episode of season 2 of Power to the People. So welcome. We're going to ask you if you would go ahead and help us with this great show. Hello, Mother George, and share, and invite, comment, show emojis, and subscribe to our YouTube. All this helps to get our broadcast out, and some of you have been a great blessing on doing that. We welcome everybody across the United States, all the way from California, Washington, all the way back across to Florida, Georgia, Maryland, New York. Y'all have been on it. We appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. And of course, our international, we are now a worldwide broadcast, specifically in Nigeria. You guys have been showing out and showing us some love, and I appreciate it. Our ministry appreciates you. I know you probably sleep at this time of the night, but you always come on when you get up and share our content. So thank you for being a part of West Africa, all of Low Coast, West Africa, Kenya, all of you, and down in the islands, the Virgin Islands, Jamaica, and Bahamas, St. Thomas. So we thank all of you for how you just been showing us love. We appreciate it. We feel like we have a purpose as a ministry, our staff and our officers. So if you would, those who are up at this Eastern time, if you would go ahead and share, we'll greatly appreciate it. Hello, Miss Gordon. I miss you, Miss Gordon. Good to see you. Thank you. And we're also going to go ahead and bring up our guest. For today, we have a lot of questions, and I'm going to bring them all up, and then I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves. All right. Okay, we got everybody. It sure looks like it. Okay. Aren't they young and beautiful? I'm so proud of y'all. I'm just going to tell you, man, I hadn't met, this is my first time meeting all of them except for the young lady with the microphone on. She is my goddaughter.
Stop.
When she claimed me. Yeah, she is. But man, I'm so proud of just to have you guys and to see you guys as young African-American entrepreneurs doing your thing. So anytime besides today that you can use this platform to further your purpose in life, just let me know. So what we're going to do is do a quick roundhouse and give you about 30 seconds to tell us who you are. We'll start with, can you put the names up, Miss Producer? We're going to start with Tiffy.
I knew you was gonna say me.
Yeah, you did.
All right. Well, I am Tiffany Goodman Stevens, and I'm a realtor at Weichert Realtors Bradshaw Group here in Greenwood, South Carolina. Weichert Realtors is a whole like franchise of real estate offices all throughout. And I have been in real estate for about 3.5 years now, and it just brings me joy just to, especially first time homeowners, just to to be that the bridge to get them where they need to be and help them on their home buying journey. Of course, we all know we'll talk about it later, but listings are great. But I just really get great joy from helping the buyers.
All right, thank you. And then we go on across to Mr. Jimmy Worthy. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jimmy Worthy, and I'm a representative from Worthy and Associates Real Estate. I acquired my license South Carolina back in 2017, and as my brother there, it says in the background, as you can see, our tagline, our slogan is educating the buyer, not just selling homes. And so, just like Miss Tiffany just said, I love working with the buyer. And especially the first-time home buyer, it brings me great joy for sure. But again, I'm Jimmy Worthy.
All right, thank you there, Jimmy. And then Jeremy Worthy.
Hey everyone, nice to meet you guys. My name is Jeremy Worthy. I also work for Worthy & Associates Real Estate. The company started about 8 years ago by the broker in charge, Cynthia Worthy, who is our mom. Which has about 20 years of real estate experience. And what I do is more on the closing coordinator side, helping and preparing the buyer, looking through their finances and really just making sure they're prepared for the purchase during the process and after the process.
Okay. All right. Great. And Miss Fallon Harrison.
Hello, everyone. I'm Fallon Harrison. Along with Tiffany, we are at the same agency. So I'm an agent here in Greenwood, South Carolina. I actually got my real estate license back in 2005, and a lot of you, maybe not like Jimmy and Jeremy, y'all look super young, but you may not remember 07, 08 when the crash, quote unquote. That's when I decided to take a break. 2008, got out, was in the car business for almost 11 years. And then now I'm back and I'm here to stay. So I've been back in real estate for the last 2 years. And just like Jimmy and Tiffany has said, we love to get the listing, meaning helping sellers, but it's nothing like just sharing the joy with a buyer, especially a first-time home buyer. But when you are, you walk that road with them, and when you get to the end and get the keys, is nothing like it. That feeling is, it happens over and over again as you work with buyers, but there's nothing to compare. So thank you all for having me this evening.
Hey,
right,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but Fallon, you need to tell us what you did right before you got back in real estate.
Is it okay to say it?
Oh, yeah.
What you thought she was going to say, like, I was just you mean like as a lender?
Yes.
So when I left the car business after a little more than 10 years, because I was a salesperson, also a finance manager, I just initially felt like I need to stay in finance, and I was a lender, and still have my banking license, but I really enjoy sales. I enjoy the sales side a lot more than loaning the money, I guess I should say. So yes, I do have experience there.
Okay.
Thank you, Tiffany.
All right.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right. So let's jump in here. Before we do that, though, Natasha mentioned your back wall there, Jeremy. What does it say? It's interesting. I can't see the other side of it. It says educating the buyer.
Educating the buyer, not just selling homes. And that's just kind of what we live by here, and how we operate at Worthy & Associates is our slogan. Yes, sir.
Oh, all right, that's good. So that's what we're going to be doing, Jeremy. And the way we'll do this is since there's two companies represented, we'll ask one person to lead, and if anybody want to add to that, you may do so at that time. And so first thing we will ask, I would like to know in educating the buyer, how does your has your business, how has your business protocol with clients changed since working in a pandemic? Oh, we'll go with Jeremy. We'll start with you.
Okay, so everyone knows we've been in for about a year now, COVID time. We've gone to strictly virtual appointments or intakes since the pandemic has started. To be honest, I like it. It kind of eliminates the amount of people that come in and out of the office. Now, of course, if there's special cases, like maybe if you are over the age of 65 or so, and you're not really that savvy with technology and things like that, then of course, like we make a few exceptions. Now, still, um, when they come in and meet with us. However, most of our intakes and things like that have been virtual. That's probably the first thing that comes to my mind in comparison to how we used to go about doing business. Is now everything is definitely virtual.
Okay, great. Now, and that works for you, as it works pretty good for you as a business.
I would definitely say it works, especially for the initial intake, because we do things a little bit different here, or I'm not sure, what other firms do, but we usually require a lot of the same documents and things like that a lender would require from a buyer, so that we can kind of look over it and set them up with a budgeting plan, a savings plan, and things of that nature, so that we can really tell whether you're 3 months out, 6 months out, or that type of thing. And because of that initial intake, we don't really have to be in person. I will say that it's easier to connect in person. It's easier to really, create that dynamic of, being able to feel their just spirit and their energy while, when they're in with us. However, we try to make it as personable as possible over virtual. So it's working as well as it can.
Okay. And Tiffany, what are you guys doing at your company?
Oh my gosh. At first, it was like, okay, we're not meeting up, none of that. We went from doing a whole lot of Zoom meetings. Even when it came down to our office meetings that we have, we started out doing a lot of Zoom meetings. I'm like, I'm not coming in the office, because it was scary at first. We didn't know what to expect. But after things kind of let up and we learned a little bit more, we still go out, we show houses, we just take more protocols, mask up, hand sanitizers. A lot of the listing agents, they'll have all that right at the front door before you even like put your hands or anything on the door. They'll have your mask, your hand sanitizer. In the very beginning, I was giving people the rundown, the questionnaire. Hey, are you having any symptoms? Have you been exposed? Like, I'm not, no amount of money is worth it, because I was afraid. But now it's to me it's kind of getting back to the regular. But we just wear masks and social distance and sanitize and everything.
All right. Let's get down to a little bit of nitty gritty here, where young people can really get into learning about house buying or educating the buyer. How long does it usually take for you to work with buyers from the first home you see together to the closing table? Ms. Fallon, if you can respond to that. Oh, she's on mute. Hold on a second. Okay. All right. Can you hear us? Go ahead.
Had a call coming in, but I told you my computer, it doesn't want to obey me. So that is a broad question, Dr. White. And the reason being because I have sometimes, I think all four of us in the real estate industry can probably attest to this. There's time when you may work with a buyer for 30 days. Then there's times when you may work with a buyer for 3 months.
Well, hold on,
And
wait,
I'll
wait,
just
before you go. I don't mean to cut you off, but what
Mhm.
in 30 days can you sell a house in 30 days?
Yes. Now,
Really?
Worthy and Associates, where are y'all? Where are you guys located?
So my office is located in Charlotte,
Okay, North Carolina. Okay,
North Carolina, and
gotcha.
Jimmy is actually located in Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay. And I'll tell you
Yes.
why I asked, because Dr. White said you
Yeah,
can
tell
do
us
that in
that.
30 days. So yes, sir. Now I was going to tell you two different ways how 30 days versus 3 months, but then you might have to break it down with financing and cash. So just to sum it up as quickly as I possibly can. If I've got a hot buyer, and most of them are right now, I'm sure all of you can attest to that. If you got a buyer, they are fired up and ready to go. So if I start working with a buyer today, and it happens all the time, I may find them the perfect house tomorrow. Okay. All right. I'm going to say 2 days. All righty. We can close within 30 days as long as certain things are in line. Like the main two things is if the title search has come back and the appraisal is back, we can close in 30 days. On the flip side, well, not really the flip side, and another aspect, we work with a lot of cash buyers in Greenwood, South Carolina. They might close in 2 weeks, and that is a realistic time frame. Okay, I know it may sound crazy, but that is a realistic time frame. Then that buyer or you say, how long would you work with a buyer? Yeah.
Did we lose her?
I think she got another phone call.
Oh,
Okay. Am I still with you? Okay.
Business is good up there.
And then another, sorry guys. And another aspect is if that 3 month person, we deal with that a lot because there's definitely more buyers than sellers right now in this market. So it may take you longer to find the perfect property for that buyer. So it may take you a month to find it. And then with the way the market is so like just blowing up right now, it's taking appraisers longer to be able to get to that property to appraise it and get that report turned in. So that's how you end up working with some buyers for 3 months. So does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It does. I found that interesting. So I always thought the pain and the minute I'm probably not the only other person.
You said a pain.
It's a pain to think of it. Even that when you think of buying a house, that it's like way down the road. And so for those of you that may be thinking like me, I've gone through the process 1 or 2 times, but it's been so long ago. But and I was out back and forth in the military, so I didn't pay too much attention to the time. But I always thought that it was just a painful long time. Jimmy, in Charlotte, Charleston, is the business booming there, or does it take as long there as well?
Yeah, so I would say something very similar. I originally thought it was a loaded question as well, but I kind of stuck with the concept of in the question there where it says from the first home that the client sees to when they go to settlement. I say that's about 2 to 3 months. So I agree with what has already been said essentially.
Okay, all right. Okay. So now we're gonna move into before we hire you guys. What instruction should we get or know before we hire any agent? And how does the buyer first formulate their price? Tiffany, you want to talk to us about that?
All right. So That's actually more of a lender question. The lender will sit down and, calculate the buyer's finances and their income and, check the debt income ratio, all that stuff, credit score and everything. And they will tell them how much house they can afford. Um, and so and that's part of the pre-approval process. They will get a pre-approval letter from a lender saying, okay, hey, this person has been pre-approved for to purchase a home up to this amount. I always tell my clients though, I always say, hey, the lender might say you're good for a $300,000 house, but ask them, hey, if I buy a house at $300,000 and this is what I'm putting down, how much will my monthly payments be? Because I'm more concerned for my buyers that they can afford it monthly. So I always, yeah.
So you would send the buyer to a banker?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, with that said, and thank you all for coming in here. Those guests, you continue to come in. Bless you. If you would go ahead and share and invite. This is some powerful information for us on tonight. And we're just getting started real good. So you got time. Jeremy, then I hear you say that you guys would do the budget for a person, or would you send them to a banker as well?
So yeah, it depends on readiness. We do a lot of pre-screening where, we kind of can gauge what needs they have. However, we pride ourselves on not turning anyone away. So whether you have a 540 credit score or you have a 760 credit score, we pride ourselves on, we're going to work with you regardless. The thing about it is, that person with that 540 credit score, we actually had a lender come onto our agent meeting last night, and he was talking about how, some of these lenders out here, and I don't want to get too far into that, but some of these lenders out here will give you a mortgage that is less than best. And that's why I'm glad that Ms. Tiffany brought that up. It's important to make sure that your client is getting the best mortgage possible. Even if you're approved for $300, but if your monthly payment is $1,900 a month or more, it's really important to see, wait, why is that happening? What are your lender fees? It's really important to look at all the things that are going into the mortgage. And sometimes that type of thing will take a little bit extra time, but yeah.
Okay.
Now, if I could just jump in there,
Yes.
we always disclose to our potential clients and our clients that we are not the lender. And, like I always tell mine, when I calculate their debt to income ratio, I always tell my clients that, I'm going to be off of your affordability by, $100 give or take in sense of monthly payment. But again, we do that because we also just believe that each lender doesn't give the same product. So based on whatever that individual's financial background is, we will, put them down a pipeline based on that information. But yes, we definitely would advise that, if you want to purchase a home, the best way to do that, if you don't already have, depending on the agent that you have, you definitely would need to talk to a lender first based on the question.
All right. Okay. All right. Good. So y'all here to go talk to a lender, and it probably makes it easier for you guys to make it quicker. You know what the price range is to move into. Let's see what this question is. Do you have a lender to have? Wait a minute. Do you have to have a lender? Gotcha. I need my glasses. What are pros and cons when searching for a lender, and are the good and the bad? That's a good question. Excellent question. And we have some questions, but if you, our audience from YouTube Live and all our Facebook page, if you have a question, we want to be able to, we'll go to your question before my questions, because we're here to help empower you. So that's a good question, Miss Cynthia. Let's see if Fallon, if you can answer that, since she was a lender.
Yes.
Yes.
Great question for me.
Yes.
Do you have to have a lender? What are the pros and cons when searching for a lender? Are there good and bad lenders? Do you all refer certain lenders? So, Ms. Talbert, to answer that first question, you have to have a lender if you're going to need financing or borrow the money to purchase that house. If you're paying cash, no, ma'am, you do not have to have a lender. The pros and cons of searching for a lender in the state of South Carolina, and some of you, Jeremy, Jimmy, Tiffany, y'all may be able to help me because this is something we are. I can't say if we're recommended or that's just something to kind of cover ourselves. Is your realtor? It is always a good practice to give you maybe three. They can suggest as many as they want, but if they can give you three suggestions and let you talk to each one, there is a thing called chemistry, so you want to see who you work best with. Also, you want to search for the very best deal, and the lowest interest rate is not always the best deal. So just believe that, because one lender may tell you, okay, it's 2.5% interest rate, and another may tell you it's 3%. You automatically jump to the 2.5, but you may be spending $4,000 more in closing costs. And so that is just something. I won't go down that rabbit hole, but there are pros and cons when searching for a lender, and that is one of the things you want to shop, each one to be sure you are getting the best deal. And then, are there good and bad lenders? Oh, heck yeah. Yes, ma'am. It is. That's what happened. I don't know if you were on here at the beginning when I talked about I was in real estate and then I got out when the market crashed. That's why the market crashed, because I hate to say it, but it's the truth. It's bad lenders. You got predatory lenders out there that they're going to prey on you for certain reasons, because you may not know much about the housing market, but you may have an 800 credit score. They will take advantage of you, or you may have a 500 credit score, but because their guidelines would allow them to give you a loan. Well, let me take the credit score out of it. You may only truly qualify for a $200,000 mortgage, and a predatory lender would approve you for a $300,000 lender. And you know what that equals? That equals foreclosure. So it's definitely good and bad lenders out there. Yeah. And yes, most of us, I think I speak for all four of us, where we do probably refer certain lenders. And that usually comes down to relationships, who we have great relationships with, not just because it's a friend but because we've had great success with them in the past. Now we're all human, so mistakes may be made sometimes, and then things just go wrong. That we were talking about the pandemic in the beginning, so a lot of you listening in, you may have been able to buy a house 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, no problem. But then again, you may be on the contract, and then this pandemic hit. All of a sudden, our job shuts down. Now we went from $5,000 a month in income to no income, or to what do you call it? Like, what do you know what I mean? I'm sorry.
That was my bad.
Okay. Well, so you may begin unemployment. That's what I think it's called. Mm-hmm. You may begin unemployment. So now your loan has fallen through. No fault of yours, no fault of your lenders, but this pandemic has caused a lot of jobs to shut down. So now they have to reassess your loan, and now it's falling through. So I hope that, I know that's a lot of information, but I hope that answers the question that you were asking, Ms. Talbert.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Talbert and Ms. Sharon. What about purchasing a foreclosure home? What are the pros and cons? Let's see, Jeremy.
I'm going to be honest.
Be honest, Jeremy.
We usually tell our clients to stray away from that. I'm just going to keep it completely
Why,
honest.
Jeremy? Why? That's good
Um,
deals, man.
and hopefully my other three real estate agents here can help me piggyback a little bit as well. But most of the time, there's all type of hidden issues that can pop up that you don't know about. I mean, a number of things could truly just go wrong, whether it's issues with the title, issues with people who are in there who they know they're going to lose the house, so they destroy the house. Um, Many other just reasons. We just traditionally, I've been taught not to deal with foreclosures.
And honestly, if I can go ahead and piggyback, and then we can.
Sure.
Honestly, one of the things that actually kept our company afloat during the housing crisis that Ms. Harrison just referenced earlier is doing home saves, preventing people like
Wait a
people who are
minute.
already
Wait. Say that again. What you call it? Home
like
safe?
doing home saves, like
Safe.
doing a home save, like SAVE.
Okay.
Because oftentimes when somebody is going through that process of foreclosure, before it gets in, I guess this also is something that could take longer to explain too, but essentially what I'm saying is that we would actually try to prevent that individual who actually owns it, especially if we know them per se, we would try to help them to actually not have to end up going through that foreclosure process. But as Jeremy was also saying, I know that myself, in my 3 years, I have not advised anyone yet to purchase a foreclosed home. But again, that's just based on my experience.
Can
Tip
I say
that
one
you.
more thing before we move on the foreclosed homes? I found out that a lot of us think that a foreclosed home is either cheaper, or oh, we don't have to have as good of a credit score to get it, or whatnot, and that's not always the case. They can honestly be a pain. It's a lot of paperwork, usually a lot longer to get closed, um, and a lot of times even in bidding wars, like the bank just takes bids because the bank owns foreclosed homes. So just bid after bid, and it's usually it can be a big mess, but it doesn't mean that you're going to get a better home or more home for what you, or anything like that. And then a lot of lenders, depending on the condition of that home, they may not even you know lend the money on a foreclosed home. So it may be a situation where you probably would have to even have cash to purchase in a lot of cases.
And is that the reason why some people that buy really look for foreclosures are people that have an overhead of cash to buy it and do a little tack work to it and sell it or rent it? That's the game in that. But for a stabilized
Or
family,
right.
that's not something you want to do. Okay, that's good information. All right, hope that answered your question, Miss Sharon. Um, let's see. What is the best way to, when we hire an agent, and both of you or four of you from two different companies, is it best to work with the individual or work with a group? How do y'all do that? Does your group work with one individual, or do you, are you my agent? I want to go through you and dialogue with you, or since y'all belong to a company, do I get anybody from everybody come that's an agent to that company? You see what I'm trying to say?
We
That makes
got you.
sense. Okay. And see, I know Fallon does, because she used to sell cars, so you know how to just come at you when you had a car.
Uh-huh.
So Tiffany, which best works should we do? What do you think we should do?
All right. So if you come to me as a buyer, we will sit down and discuss, hey, what you expect out of me and what I expect out of you, and we make sure we're on one page, and we would have you sign a buyer's agency agreement. And what that is just an agreement. It's really a loyalty thing. Just making sure that, hey, if you're riding down the street and you see a house for sale, you're not gonna call that agent that you see on the sign. That for everything you're going to come to me. You run across something online that you may be interested in, have some questions about, you're going to come to me. Now, the way that Weichert Realtors work now, if you hire me as your buyer's agent, you really hire the whole team, because we just work together like that. But at the same time, I'm your agent.
Okay. Jeremy, are y'all set up the same way?
We are definitely set up the same way. We don't do teams here. Like, we are all one, Worthy & Associates Real Estate, and everyone represents themselves. And we do have office staff that helps out and, with searching for homes. And of course, if someone's tied up and you want to see a house this weekend, and somebody may come and show it for you. But I think the benefit of working with an individual agent is the fact that this is, for some people, a strenuous process. So it's good to be with somebody who you can truly, confide in, and, have them answer all your questions. They're just your personal Google at that moment, where you can ask them anything you want. And that's why, I think that's one of the number one reasons why companies, or if you've been in the business for a long time, you are constantly getting referrals more so than clients from marketing, because the relationship that you develop when you're working with that individual realtor, it should last a long time if they're a good real estate agent.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. Now that we've settled on the agent, so after you hired the agent, what's the benefit of hiring an agent, and why can't I just ride around it? Like Tiffany said, why I can't just ride around myself? I see a house for sale, and I can go to my lender and say, I see a house for sale at such and such address, Greenwood, South Carolina. So why I got to pay you when I can get out there and ride around myself? Did you raise your hand, Miss Harrison? Go ahead.
We both raised our hand.
Okay.
Actually, I didn't.
I know. I'm sorry. I know.
To use my
I know
phone,
you still making money, like Jimmy said. You're gonna share some of that commission with us.
Right.
The benefits of hiring an agent. Simply put, you have somebody working for you, representing you. If you ride around yourself looking for houses, the biggest, what word can I use? The biggest issue with that, me being a buyer and I'm driving around and I call the number on that for sale sign in the yard. Well, guess what? That agent already works for the seller. So who do you think they've committed themselves to? Who they've given all their loyalty to? I know when a seller hires me, my job for them is to make them or net them as much money as possible off of their home. My job to my buyer is to help my buyer keep as much money in their pocket as I possibly can. That should sum it up, but
it does. Okay. And with that said, that gives me lead to my next question.
Okay.
We're talking about keeping money in the buyer's pocket or hand. Jeremy, how much is it gonna cost me to hire you? Well, you got to tell me no price. Do you work by commission? That's what I'm getting to. That's what I hear.
We all work for commission. The good thing about it is the money doesn't come out of your pocket. The commission comes as part of the whole transaction. So let's say you get your purchase price is $300,000. The commission that goes to the seller's agent will be 3% of that. And I would also get 3% or whatever percentage that the seller decides when they list a home. So whether it's 2.5%, we both get 2.5, or it's 3%. It comes out of the transaction or however the financing goes. So if you purchase a house, you're not, saying, all right, you gonna help me out and I'm gonna give you $1,500. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. It comes as a part of the transaction.
And specifically from the seller. From the seller of the property. So you as a buyer, you're not going to be paying us out of your pocket unless your firm that you create that agency with, maybe they have some type of retainer fee that they want to charge you, that you would then have to pay that. But again, coming across somebody that does that is very unlikely. So again, you as a buyer, you're not paying out of pocket.
Okay. That sounds good. Now, I didn't do that with my first home. I just paid the owner. He built it and I paid him. So I didn't have an agent. But now that's interesting. So now that the seller is paying for it, oh my God, I had this question for you. Since the seller is paying for it, why should I hire you? I got why I should hire you as the agent. But among the other agents, how do I choose the agent? That's what I'm getting at. I'm free now because I know I don't have to pay you. So all I got to do is go get an agent. So how do I get the right agent? What I'm looking for? Jeremy, you smiling. I'm making a nut of myself. So tell me, Jeremy,
No.
how do I now? Because I feel a whole lot lifted off me now. I ain't got to worry about paying y'all. So I'm just gonna go out there and go through the phone book or Google. Somebody said Google and get the first agent since I ain't got to pay you. But why choose you, or what I look for?
And that's why I was smiling, because I was thinking to myself, I wonder why people choose who they choose myself. Now, just to answer your question, though, you want to choose someone that you can trust. You want to choose someone that.
Well, hold on, wait a minute. Don't give me that sales pitch, Jeremy. How am I going to trust you?
I'm still in the office. It's on me.
Well, that makes a good point. Now that is, yeah, yes, that's right. Like I see a little sign behind you and that stuff, and I see that, I do get comfortable.
Right.
Yeah.
Just okay.
Okay.
I could say,
help your brother out, Jeremy.
I can butt in because it's Jeremy. What I've noticed is that people, they typically hire who's ever in front of their face at the moment, because I know, I personally feel like I've told enough of my friends and family, if you will, that I'm in real estate. However, you could be on Facebook and end up seeing somebody close on a house and you're just like, whoa, okay. So I think that people choose really whoever is in front of their face, once they truly have determined that they're ready to buy. I think that's been my experience, without going the sales pitch route of you need to choose somebody who's honest, choose somebody, some people may say, who has years of experience, and then the list goes on, things like that.
Okay. All right. See, I know how Tip get her buyer. She get the smiling and stuff. And why would I choose you, Tip?
You would choose me because at the end of the day, I have your best interest. I would look out for you and really explain the entire process to you. No, and a lot of people, sometimes they choose who they click with, but I'm so with Jimmy, people will sometimes whoever in front of their face, I've had my feelings hurt, some family, some friends, and they know I do this. I had some family and friends ask me questions, real estate questions, and then, hey, I look on Facebook. I'm like, wait a minute. But I don't want to. I'm vibing good today, so I don't want to even go there.
Right.
But and sometimes it's a popularity contest. I'm not real big on sometimes just all on social media. Hey, I'm in real estate. Hey, I'm in real estate. Hey, look at me, I'm closing. Hey, this me and my, you know, and then somebody else is, and oh hey, then that person, that buyer may choose to go with them, but not to take it to church or anything. But I always say what God has for me is for me at the end of the day. So I've learned not to stress it. I learned to be myself and not try to be just like any other realtor out there. um, and so,
I just gotta tell you,
and I
man.
think Jeremy mentioned it. I mean,
Yeah,
to
I
me,
feel it. I can feel it. I don't mean to cut you off, but I can feel it. I just saw it. Y'all feel it? Anybody
y'all
out there
feel
feel it?
that?
I felt that. I trust you already. Fella, I just gotta hear from you because you got a twist on how you get them. Why you should choose you?
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
Well, remember back the last time I spoke, I said that sign in the yard, that agent already represents the seller.
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe you should be. I'm not because I agree with what Jimmy is saying and what Tiffany is saying. What they're saying is 100% true. But here's how you should choose your agent: to know who is really going to go hard for you and on your behalf, from negotiating to,
Well, how
because
you
that's
know?
again,
Wait, Miss Fallon. How you know that when you just meet them? How you
well,
know that person is gonna go hard for you?
you don't know that. Okay, I'm gonna step into a buyer's shoes. I don't know that, but once you sit down with somebody and you explain the process, then that's when I can't control if somebody can open up their intuition to figure out this is the person you need to be hiring. But you would be surprised. I'm gonna jump. It's really not off subject. It's really on subject. Just like Jeremy said, he said, really, sometimes I can't believe who people hire. I mean, do you know there's agents out there that seller or that buyer don't even know what day they're closing? Because I know you have a contract, but a million and one things can happen that you don't close on that date. So, I mean, communication. That's the ABCs of real estate: communication. But you can't control somebody's intuition. But when you sit down and you break down, hey, here's the process. This is how it's gonna go. Here's what I'm gonna do for you. People choose people tend to work with who they like and know. But I like to pride myself as that person that's a go getter, and
Okay.
when you hire me, I'm going to work for you. I can tell you that. And I think I look for that type of person to do business with. If I was buying, that's the kind of person I want. Somebody that's gonna educate me along the way. I love your sign in the back, by the way, Jeremy. Who's gonna educate me on the way? Who's definitely gonna have my best interest at heart, just like Tiffany said. Who is I'm gonna have 100% loyalty to. Um, that's what I look for.
All right.
That's what I'm hoping all of you out there listening, even if you bought a home before or you have yet to buy a home, those are a few things that you should look for. Not that person on social media just because they're posting, hey, closed on this today. We talk about this a lot in our office. Tiffany can attest to this, that people will call us, hey, what do you got to do to get in real estate? I'm thinking about getting my real estate license. All they do is see the glam and glory on that closing date. They don't realize that I done lost a little bit of sleep. I done got a few more gray hairs.
Yes, stress.
I done been stressing. I done been back and forth. It's like pulling teeth. So you want that person that's not going to give up, that's going to go hard for you the entire time from the beginning to the ending. Even
All
after closing, it's important to me to maintain that relationship after
Yeah.
closing. I love is nothing more important to me than customer service after the closing, because a lot of
Okay.
people close, they get a check and deuces,
Run
but
off. Yep.
Uh,
yeah.
all right, Miss Harrison is selling
If I
her.
could,
Yes.
if I
Uh,
could add anything, I know that I saw a question on that popped up as to like, well, how am I gonna know that if
I
I've
don't
never
know
met
you.
you?
Yeah.
Right. When people are working for you the way Miss Fallon and Miss Tiffany and myself and Jimmy are talking about, the reputation is going to go with them. So look at your reviews. Um, look on Zillow for reviews. Look on Google for reviews. Ask your church family member, who did you use? How was your experience? How are they at communication? How are they with answering and working hard? And are they really gonna fight for you? I would definitely say look for look for someone who already has a great relationship, and that will highly recommend someone, because they're getting highly recommended for a reason most of the time.
okay. All right. In a nutshell, about who can give me in 30 seconds. Um, we have about 10 more minutes left, but in 30 seconds, explain the home buying process from start to finish. Is that possible in 30
Oh
seconds?
Lord.
Just nutshell.
Well, first of all, Dr. White, every transaction is different. Let me just say that.
Okay.
Um, so I don't know who can explain that the fastest.
I'll go with kind of what I wrote down on my paper. To get from the desire to buy a house to settlement, you will, number one, of course, need to commit to the process. Then number two, based on our process, you would need to schedule an intake, which will determine if you are going to be what we consider budgeting, or you're going to be able to go straight to a lender and get approved. Once you get approved, we're going to start looking. Once we're looking and you find the house that you like, we will submit offer. Now, you could be submitting multiple offers depending on the market that you're in, which I would say, like they have already said, that's pretty much everywhere. You're probably going to make multiple offers before winning a bid. Once you are now, once you've won a bid, you are now under contract. Once both parties, the buyer and seller, agrees to the terms, you're now under contract. At that point, now the buyer is going to be submitting their loan documents that they need, the W-2s, check stubs, bank statements, things of that nature. They're going to be going through that process. There's going to be home inspection process, the appraisal, all of that. And then you will eventually get to the point to where you will maybe rewalk the house right before closing, and then you'd close on the home.
Okay.
And then after that, as Ms. Harrison says, there's going to be some, post closing conversation potentially, and follow up just to see how things are going. That's a 30-second version.
That's good. I appreciate it. I'm sure others appreciate it. All right, we're gonna move a little faster here. Once you found the house, a couple of questions from that. What are the red flags to look for? Anybody can jump in.
I wrote down the two things I wrote down that immediately came to my mind was water damage and structural issues. Even though we're not home inspectors, there are some structural issues that the naked eye can see.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can look at a floor and tell that one of the beams in the flooring is lopsided or something, depending on the age of the house. You can look at the roof and tell that, okay, something is going on there. So I would say looking for water damage and structural issues.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I'm gonna ask if everybody kind of within 30 to 40 seconds response as we go. Try not to keep people so much longer than an hour, but we have good tendency that's staying on right now. It's good stuff. So Tiff, if you could, once we buy the house, what determines a good, find the house, not buy it, but what determines a good offer for a house?
A good offer. I mean, right now it's a situation where you really truly have to offer your highest and best. Um, Although I like the whole negotiating part, right now is not the market to do that. And we have to know and be able to realize when to tell our clients that, well, hey, it's listed for 200,000. Can I get it for 150? No, not in this market. You know, not at all. We're gonna have to offer list price or even more. Also, what makes a good offer? No contingencies. Even try to steer away from due diligence and things like that. That'll sometimes, and yeah, I know y'all may not even know what a due diligence is, and I don't have time to explain it, but um, that's some of the things that makes a good offer. You don't have to sell your own home before you can buy this one. That makes a good offer. Um, and like I said, it's just a situation where it's highest and best now. You have to put your best foot forward. No negotiating.
All right. And Ms. Fallon, can an offer guarantee a house?
No, sir.
Why?
Because
Because they don't have
back
to
when I
admit there's
said
no
there's
contract.
a million, back when I said there's a million and one things that can go wrong when you're under contract. So you've submitted the offer, your offer has been accepted. Now you are under contract until your closing date. So just to try to sum it up as quick as I can, within 30 seconds, an offer. Oh, well, let me get back. You said there's an offer. No, because in this market, there's multiple offer situations all over, and I'm sure it's like that in your area, guys, Jimmy and Jeremy. That just it's more buyers than sellers. So if you like the house, I tell my clients, if you like it, there's a huge chance that 10 others like it as well. So now you got 8 other offers coming in, and that seller has to hone down on what offer to them is the best. Even if they choose your offer, it still doesn't guarantee it. It has to appraise, because what happens in a lot of multiple offer situations is if a house is on the market at 299,000, somebody want that house bad enough, they're going to offer 305,000. But what if the house only appraises for 301,000? We've got a problem. We got to go back to the drawing board. A lot of times the sellers are thinking, no, we've taken our house off the market. It's been off the market 32 days. We want the entire 305,000. If the buyer wants it, they need to put that additional money down to close this deal. Well, then the buyer says, I don't have any more money. I need you to lower the price to 302. So hopefully that's just a quick scenario as to why an offer does not guarantee a house. And if it does not, I'm more than happy to go more into it. But hopefully the audience can feel where I'm coming from with it.
Okay. And Jeremy, what happens if the inspector finds something? And what are some of the things they could find in a house that you have found and want to purchase? And who is the inspector?
So home inspectors are people who are going to make sure that based off of a certain code and guidelines, they're going to make sure that the home that you're purchasing is up to that standard. Some of the things that they will find during a home inspection would be, like Jimmy was mentioning earlier, structural damages. They will look for damages, that aren't just cosmetic, but things that will change the value of the house. Something that's so wrong that it's going to change the value of the house. So that could be a bad hot water heater or a HVAC system, roofing, anything, electrical, yes. They could
Foundation.
find foundation. They could truly find anything.
And that's their job, is to find everything.
That's their job.
You know, and I would even go in to say that you need to, the same way that you need to vet your realtor and your lender, hopefully your realtor is going to recommend a quality home inspector, because I've seen home, not everyone does everything the same, period. Not everyone does everything the same, because you have some home inspectors that are going to go into extreme detail, and you have some who are not. And that's just something to also take into consideration for the audience.
All right. Who hires or who gets the home inspector? The banker or the agent?
The agent will, most of the time, your agent will highly recommend that you get a home inspection. That home inspection is going to come out of your pocket, and most of the time it's around $500 to $600. However, yeah.
Do y'all recommend it at your
company? We will not sell a house if it does not have a home inspection. That's just our way of doing things, because we don't want it, at the end of the day, once they close and they find out something went wrong, then it's our fault.
All right. Tiffany, do y'all do it at y'all company?
Yes.
Okay.
We do.
All right. Okay. We have 2 questions from the audience. If you hold on just a second, I want to ask a quick question that's in the flow of this, and that is, what happens if something is found, actually, and the house appraises under the offering price?
Okay. Fallon touched a little bit on that just a little bit ago. But like she said, you would have to actually go back to the drawing board, see if the seller will either come down on the price of the home, or if you just have to make some adjustments, and everybody have to agree on it. Everything goes back to negotiation. A lot of people think that negotiation only goes on at the very beginning when you put in an offer, but when it comes down to repairs, whatever that home inspector finds, you go back into negotiation with that seller and that buyer, and the buyer's like, "Oh, seller, can you fix this, that, and this?" And the seller might say, "Well, no, I'll only fix these 2 things off the list, but I'm not going to fix the 6 things off the list." So everything goes back into negotiation, really, and everybody has to come to an agreement. But it cannot praise under the offer price, and you keep that same higher price that you got to come to a meeting of the minds with it.
Okay. All right. If you can put the audience question up, please, producer. Thank you, ma'am. In your opinion, what's the top 5 first-time home buyer programs?
Okay.
Home buyer programs. They are programs. I didn't know that.
Y'all may disagree with me, but that's more of a lender question to me, and Fallon may be able to touch a little bit on it. I know sometimes these programs change, and the qualifications change, but the lender will kind of be able to better tell you on that.
Okay, Fallon, what is a program?
I can say mortgage companies, it's just like layman terms, it's like Walmart. Like this week, Walmart may have whole chickens at a certain price. Next week it may be ribeye steaks at a certain price, and then the next week it may be round roast bottom chucks at a certain price.
You making me hungry, girl.
But I'm trying to make it make sense to people that know they don't do this. They're not in the business. They don't understand. And my whole point in saying that is that's how mortgage companies is. This month they run a deal on this. Next month they run a deal on this. It's really not months. It's more like probably 3-month terms, but still. So, but just a couple for you, Miss Talbert, would be one, and this is just a general or broad USDA. USDA it has to be a first time home buyer. It is 100% financing. The house has to be in a rural area, meaning not in the city. Another one is state housing. Now, you guys in North Carolina, I don't know if y'all offer something like state housing, but I'm sure y'all have something that's kind of equivalent. But state housing, that's a good first time home buyer program. Even FHA is a good first time home buyer program because it's built around first time home buyers that don't have a whole lot of money to put down. Your interest rate is typically lower than some of the I don't, again, I'm trying to keep it in simple terms, but some of the other programs are loan programs that are kind of based around, for one, somebody who's bought before or has a good bit of money to put down, or an investor or whatnot. So there are first time home buyer programs out there, but every company is different. One company may offer some companies don't even do USDA. Some companies don't do state housing. Most of them will do FHA because that's a very common government loan, but hopefully that kind of, and I know I'm keeping it short because that is, again, that's a broad question that, there's y'all, Jeremy and Jimmy, they may have a program. Well, some of their preferred lenders may have a program that we've never heard of, Tiffany or myself in our area.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, because I would personally say that in agreement with Ms. Harrison there, I would say that prior to the pandemic, one of the main first-time homebuyer programs that we suggest that our clients utilize is the NACA program, Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America.
Yeah.
There is no other lender can provide, and it's provided through Bank of America. There is no loan that is going to be better than that. There's absolutely no loan that's going to be better concerning payment, interest rate, the mere fact that they don't, your credit score is not considered or a determining factor for you. So I guess, conjunction with what she's saying, I would say NACA. I would look into SC Housing. If you're in South Carolina, they have some great down payment assistance programs that go right into conjunction with the FHA loan. If you're in North Carolina, we definitely utilize one that is that's called House Charlotte and CPLP. But you definitely want to look to your South Carolina. Go to South SC Housing. Just Google that, and you will see two that I can immediately think of: the Home Advantage, and then Palmetto Heroes, which is for your veterans, for your teachers, nurses. And that would be great. That just got rolled out April 1st, and South Carolina is a little bit different. Our funds go very quickly. Their down payment assistance funds go very quickly. So I would suggest looking at that.
Is there a central area a person can go? Or do they just Google house buying programs, or is there a central area?
If you Google South Carolina housing, it should pop up. It should pop up.
But a list of the things that Ms. Harrison just said and that I just said, there's not I don't know if there's been a realtor or a lender or some professional in this industry who's compiled a list of all of these first-time home buyer opportunities, which now that you're saying that, that's a great idea that for both of our companies to do, to be able to attract more customers, is put some information out. Literally,
yeah, I take a little bit of commission. All right, I'll do that.
Yeah, I appreciate the idea.
All right. Let's see the next question from Ms. Sharon. What about delinquent property taxes? How would you go about doing that? Is that something that you would encourage others to do, or is it something that is skeptical? The delinquent property taxes. That is buying property on delinquent houses. I mean, taxes. Is that what she's saying? Jimmy,
I
you
think
know
I
that.
get I think I get exactly what you're saying, Miss Covington. You're talking about maybe a property, someone didn't pay their taxes, to sum it up.
Mhm.
I'll tell you with my experience what has happened with that. That is a way to acquire property, but the fact that you cannot get a general warranty deed, if you're gonna invest even the least amount of money into a property, that's very important. And the whole thing, and I know I have no choice but to probably use terms that people that is not in that's not in this business would understand, but just real quick, and I hope some kind of way you can get my contact info and I can go into details more, more with you, even get an attorney on the phone that can really break it down and tell you why, can back up what I'm saying. So if you buy property on a courthouse steps because somebody did not pay their taxes, for one, you're not going to get a general warranty deed, so you have no idea what the history of that property holds. Now, again, yeah, that's your chance to own real estate for a really low price. But and then another thing is you would not be able to get title insurance. Just real quick, why those two things are very important, they kind of run together. If somebody were to come, I don't know where you live, but let's just say me and Tiffany, we live in Greenwood, South Carolina. If I bought a property from a delinquent tax sale here in Greenwood, South Carolina, and somebody comes here from New York, and say that was my great grandmama's cousin's grandmama property, and they left it to them and they left it to me, but it went way down the line, you stand to lose what you just bought, because if they can provide a general warranty deed that they are the rightful owner of that property, you are just out of luck because you bought without a general warranty deed. That means that's not a clear title. That means there could be clouds on the title. That means there's issues there, and you can't get title insurance. Title insurance is just an insurance that if that same person, my grandmama, sister, brother, cousin, uncle, grandmama, came back
Mhm.
and said, "This is my property," by you having title insurance, they just wasting their breath. It doesn't matter. I got title insurance, so this is my property, and you can go on back to New York, New York.
Well, let me
That's kind
say
of
this.
nasty, ain't it? But
Well,
Yeah,
you
that's
know what?
very good advice.
yeah.
It is. Let me tell you why. And we'll close in just a second, but this is very important because you are right in on something that we've just experienced at a church. And
Wow.
Sharon's from this area. She would know of a previous church I pastored, Goodman Creek. And what you just said, the way the title was written back in 1898, I think it
Yes.
was.
Yes.
It it
That's what
it
happens.
it was to a person, but then it's heirs. So now the heirs, after 131 years, have rights to that property.
Hmm.
So,
Wow.
so we couldn't function there any longer as a church because of that right. And it's
Wow.
so that's a good point. Thank you.
Mhm.
Where you been, Fallon? Why you just not telling me this? But it pays off, so we got to ditch instead. Last question. All right. You're right. It's the last question. We gotta let you go. But you've been good. Appreciate you. Uh, why do agents ask if you want to pay your down payment out of your pocket, or would you like 100% financing? To me, there's no. That's a no-brainer. If that's true. If you don't have to spend out of your pocket, I want, a 100% finance. And I think I've been hearing a lot of that advertised, at least on TV. Um, who can give us some background on that?
Well, for 100% financing, there are a lot of qualifications. Um, not unfortunately, not everyone qualifies for 100% financing. But if you did have a choice, and I'm guessing you meaning maybe if the lender asks, you say if the agent asks, but probably maybe if the lender asks. Um, the only thing I could think of off the top of my head, that you
Now she
would want to
said
make a pay
agent.
it down.
She
Okay,
said
that you
agents are
would
asking.
pay a down payment is to get your monthly payments down. So you can pay a lot of people, hey, I'm want to put this much down so I won't have so much to pay monthly and pay it off quicker and all of that stuff. So, I mean, that's just one thought. If y'all have anything else, feel free to.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Cynthia. You've been very good help tonight. And my last question for each one of you as we depart, I appreciate you. And again, you guys are just beautiful to look at, being young realtors and young entrepreneurs. We'll start with this question here. His last question. I'm trying to figure out who I want to start with. Um, I'll save Miss Harris for last because she come up with some stuff. But Tiffany,
Yes.
and I'm gonna ask each one of you the same question, and I'll ask you to leave your information with us as well. What reason? Hold on, let me start with Jimmy. Jimmy, you sent a question about the community empowerment. That's the question I'm trying to think of. I didn't write it down. What was that question?
Jeremy, could you help me out here, man? For some telepathy
I
here
think
may come through.
the question was, how can was it about development in your community, or was it, do you feel responsible enough? Do you feel responsible enough to go to a town hall meeting and inquire about the development going on in your community?
No, it's the one you read before, the first one.
So how can you be a part of development in your community?
Okay. How can you be a part of development in your community? I think the most simplest way, if you don't have money, don't have any capital to actually, be one of the movers and shakers, it is using your voice. You need to make sure that you're going to the different community meetings that these developers are mandated to have, depending on your municipality. In order to have a big project, go ahead.
Hold on just a second, Jimmy. I want to be a little bit more specific.
Okay.
The development of Black community.
Good. I like that, because I had something to add, because honestly, to your point that you just mentioned about Ms. Harrison, like, she answers things phenomenally, and she answered that thing about the property taxes very well. And the only thing that I would add to that is that, if you were going to do something like that, don't do it in our community, because again, you have potential to be messing up like a family's legacy, like Dr. White just said, dealing with heirs property. So anyways, how can you develop our community? I think one of the best ways that I'm thinking of right now, based off of some of my efforts and what I've seen, is that number one, we have to work on building relationships amongst ourselves in the community. The minorities, Black and brown people, we need to begin to build relationships with each other, because let's face it, if we don't have capital, we're just dreaming about developing our community and building our community. And it's going to require us sometimes to pool our resources, our financial resources together to actually build and develop our community. Because let's face it, there's not enough housing units for the amount of people who truly need houses. Like, we talk about a lot this today, first-time home buyers, but I actually have a lot of people who are not homeless, but they're transitionally homeless, meaning that, they have jobs and things of that nature, but they can't, for whatever reason, they're now in a hotel per se. And that is very expensive. And what we could be doing, again, if we pull our resources together, we could say, okay, let's go to Greenwood, or let's go to Charleston, or let's go to somewhere in York County or somewhere in Chiral and find land that we can actually develop and ensure that our people who need housing can get it affordable. Because let's also face it, some people desire at the end of the day to make a lot of money. I think at the end of the day, that's one of the reasons why housing prices are so high. Of course, demand, but it's also greed as well. And so without rambling anymore, I would say, because this is like, I would have wanted to talk about this like the entire time, actually.
Yeah.
But
I could say
but again, one thing that we can do to develop our community is pull our resources together. Period. That's my opinion. Mm-hmm.
All right. Tiffany, how do you?
All right, so I'm going back on a smaller note a little bit, because I mean, Jimmy's on the big, and I respect that. Now I respect that, Jimmy, and you're exactly right. But I just want to go back on a smaller scale and just get out and help our people just change their mindset. I get so many of us, they're afraid, or they don't know that they can buy a house, or they'll contact the lender, and the lender say, well, no, you can't purchase right now, and they'll give up instead of building their credit score and doing what they need to do to get pre-approved by a lender. So my thing right now is just helping people change their mindset to believe that they can. We're stuck on generational curse. Well, nobody in my family owns houses, so I won't ever own a house. But let people know you can do it, and don't give up. Encourage these people, empower these people, educate them. That it's important to purchase a house so you can leave that to your children and your children's children, and so forth. So small or big, I think that's important, even if it's just one individual at a time.
Good stuff, Tip. All right, Mr. Jeremy, what's your thoughts? Final thoughts on that?
So I would say one of the most important things is protect your credit. We have to learn as a community how to protect our credit. My Miss Worthy, who started this company, she always says credit is more important than air. Credit or equally important as air. So protect your credit, become financially responsible. That use your voice. Every single county has a town hall meeting that if there's any development in your area, it has to be passed in that meeting. Go there and use your voice. Third thing, if you own land, keep your land. Keep your land. And the fourth thing, educate yourself. There's so much information out there. It's free information. I think that one of the things that truly creates a divide in our community is we won't take the time to learn the information. We have to put the work in ourselves to educate ourselves.
Okay. Man, it's good stuff. Good stuff. If I started with this and just stayed, I feel Jimmy now. Well, maybe we'll come back, y'all, and we just talk about getting the development empowerment. I appreciate, Jeremy, what you're saying too. My wife is good at that. She always telling the kids to protect their credit. Stuff come through the mail. One thing she gonna slam the mail down. Protect your credit or get your credit straight. And I give her credit from me getting my credit built up, because I'll just buy, but I watch how she does with her credit. It's like, I don't know if she love it better than me, but I have been helped by it. So All right, Miss Fallon, if you would close us out with your thoughts.
Close us out. I tell you what, I'm very thankful for the invite here. And sorry, Miss Grisham. I know you're behind the scenes, but
Mm-hmm.
oh man, girl, I'm just thankful for all of you guys, and thankful that we could get some information out to our people, because this, to me, this is what the market is missing. You know, I probably speak for us all to say we all have an abundant of buyers, but to have our own and to be able to educate our own, because it's like Tiffany said a minute ago, a lot of people just don't realize that they might be paying, and I'm just gonna speak for Greenwood, South Carolina here. They may be paying $800,000-$900,000 a month in rent, thinking they cannot be homeowners, where you can go and buy a beautiful home and your mortgage payment can be $700 a month. And that, my friends, is called a savings account. That might be another episode you need to have, Dr. White, is building wealth in real estate. Whole nother story, but that's what I can.
That's what we're gonna do.
I mean, I'm so serious. I know that might sound like I'm joking, but that's what you're doing. Home ownership, you're building wealth in real estate, and it's a savings account, because when I don't know how long, Jeremy and Jimmy, I know one of y'all said like how long y'all been in it, but even before I got back in the business and Tiffany got into the business, if you bought a house 5 years ago, your house is probably worth close to $40,000 more than when you bought it 5 years ago. And if that is not a savings account, I don't know what is. You may hit a hardship where, hey, I need to go borrow money against it. Now, I'm not recommending that y'all do that, but I am recommending that if you do get the itch to maybe sell and be able to, that's called equity. You've got 40 grand in equity that, hey, that can go towards your next home. I mean, just think about that, ladies and gentlemen. Think about it. So.
Yes.
And I may have got off track a little bit, but that's kind of what I would like to end with. Just making sure that you guys realize, if you're renting now, I know none of us like rejection. None of us like rejection, but sometimes it's what we need to actually to pull it together and say, you know what, this is something I want, and this is something I'm gonna get. And I think all four of us here, it makes my heart smile to know I got four, including myself, or three other agents. I mean, we are people of color, and it sounds like we doing the doggone thing, y'all.
Yes, you are.
We are.
And we appreciate you, Dr. White. I know I speak for all of us. We appreciate you for this panel.
Hey, no problem. And this is the reason, like Tiffany said, hopefully change our mindset. And we're definitely, if y'all are willing, season 3 in a couple of months, come back. And when is the hot time of buying? What season? Is there such a season?
Right now.
Okay.
Right now.
For y'all, yes,
no,
it's right now every day.
No, I know that sounds like a sales tactic, but guys, I don't know what's going on in Charlotte or Charleston. Tiffany can tell you, she's been lifting me up. I've been so feel like I've been beat down the last couple of days out of 4 offers that I've made in the last week and a half. And we're talking about offering list price, but it's more than just the price that you're offering. Because one of these questions, I know we didn't really jump on it, but it says, what would be considered a good offer? It's not all about the price. It's things like Tiffany said, I won't go into due diligence. I know a lot of people don't know that. I won't go into the repair request or as is, or there's a lot of things that make a good offer depending on the property. If it's a property that just hit the market this morning, I mean, you may as well, and then you already know, we know what's a hot property versus a property that hit 30 days ago and still available. You want to approach that 2 different ways.
All right. Well, we'll get together and do. I like what you called it, wealth
Building
which
wealth
one?
through real estate.
All right.
Building wealth through real estate. And
Tasha
that is,
Tasha will
yes.
remember that, and we'll get together. And between you and Jimmy and the rest of it, we'll come up with how we're going to present it. But
Sounds
it's
good.
been great. Thank you so much. This might have been the longest broadcast, but it's been the most powerful broadcast. And if ain't nothing else but to see you guys, you young guys out there doing your thing. So, Miss Fallon, if you could tell us how to contact with you if somebody in Greenwood County is looking. And I wish we had done this earlier where I can post it for you, but if you would go ahead, I see.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So I speak for myself and Tiffany Goodman Stevens. We are licensed in the state of South Carolina. So it's not just Greenwood. If you
Okay.
are interested, and I'm sorry, guys, I love you, but I just still got to put it out there. We are licensed in the state of South Carolina. We can help you wherever you are in the state of South Carolina.
Okay.
We have, even though we may not jump in our vehicle and drive 4 hours to Myrtle Beach to meet you at this property, we've got our Weichert Realtors franchise. We have associates that we work hand in hand with in helping you. So again, my name is Fallon Harrison. My number is 864-980-2128. Again, guys, that's 864-980-2128.
All right. Great. Jesse Thomas, we'll definitely be posting. Just go ahead and like our Facebook page. Go over to Destiny Community Church if you're on that page, and just follow us. You'll see when it come up. We always post what's coming up weekly. All right. Thank you for that input. And Mr. Worthy, Jeremy, how can we get in touch with you, sir?
You can go online, and our website is Worthy and Associates RE. That RE stands for realestate.com. On Instagram, Worthy Real Estate. And then Facebook, if you look us up on Facebook, it's Worthy and Associates Real Estate. Me personally, you can reach out to me at 704-375-9908. But yes, if you just Google us, we will definitely come up, Worthy and Associates Real Estate, and we represent North Carolina, South Carolina, and working on Georgia, hopefully by the end of this quarter.
Okay. All right. Well, that covers you and Jimmy, right? And all right, and that covers you too, Miss Stevens.
Well, let me throw my number out there for
Oh
you
yeah,
real
all
quick.
right. There you go, girl.
All right. So you can reach me, call. I get a lot of young people like to text, whatever make you feel comfortable. Some of them slide up in your Facebook inbox or whatever, but however you need to reach me. But my phone number is 864-992-3998.
Okay. All right. I appreciate you all, and we'll be back. We'll be back. Y'all already in popular demand already. So we'll be talking, and we'll come back, y'all. And I'll be praying y'all much success. And just keep doing what you're doing, even though you may get down a little bit, Fallon. Keep pressing. All right. Okay. God bless you all. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Thank you for hanging in here with us. Of course, we didn't plan on being this long, but we needed that. We needed that to develop our communities and to empower you. And so one of the things that was said, not to be afraid. If you got to go clean up your credit, if whatever you get a no, that's just a sign to strengthen you to continue to build on what you need to build. And before you know it, you'll be ready to buy. So continue to build up your credit, see what you need to do in order to become a home buyer. And there's wealth in that, and wealth in your community, and also it's wealth in your family. So God bless you all. Thank you for being with us. And on Thursday, we're going to be studying. Where are we going to be studying? What are we going to be studying? Here we go. Just want to give you a little bite. We're going to do the second part. We're in a series called Pleasing God, and we're going to do our second part of making God proud of you. So I'm sure everybody want to know how to do that. And so we started in that particular lesson, and we will finish up that particular lesson on Thursday. All right. Okay. I think that is it. You guys have a great night, and hopefully we'll see you on Thursday.